Yo, you know what it is, guys. Welcome back. Another episode of the Rest Day Podcast. It is Monday, and it is a rest day. And it is a rest day that I really need. I just want to say, if you are watching this live on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. We hit 1,000 subscribers today on YouTube, which is a pretty cool little accomplishment. I have 7 monetized YouTube channels or something like that. With some in excess of 120,000 subscribers, and 1,000 still feels good. So thank you to everybody that subscribes to the YouTube channel. If you're catching this somewhere where you stream your podcasts, we do this live. You can catch a video version of this over on YouTube. I'm taking questions, going through all of the training. We are, I don't know, 6 weeks out. Oh my God. 6 weeks out. If you have any questions and you are here, please drop them. There's already questions coming in the comment section. Thank you for that. I love talking running, and contrary to popular belief, I don't want to just be talking about myself. So thank you so much for leaving in questions. An awesome week. I feel like the last couple weeks I've come in and there's been a hiccup or something that we ever overcome. Last week was about as smooth as silk as you could be, and an enormous confidence builder for me. And as somebody that struggles with like that confidence piece, if you are struggling with that confidence piece, you know what I'm talking about. So first, there are questions. Please, guys, be patient with me. I just want to make sure, I just want to get to some of the formalities first. And then if I see some questions that relate to this, I will definitely drop them in here and we'll kind of work them in. So thank you so much. And please be patient with me getting to the questions. I'll get there. Just a real quick, just so we know where we're coming from. 2 weeks ago, which was the week of the 26th, 27th, all right, coming into March. That was my biggest week ever. We did 76 miles, if you remember from last week, 16 hours of fitness. That was a really big week. And we knew coming into this week, really, we were going to try and continue the grind upwards with elevation. We were going to try and get to our 5th week in a row of over 10,000 feet of vert and my first 80-mile week ever. Started off the week, nice little rest day on Monday. It was dope. And then we got our first workout of the week was a 10-mile hilly easy run. And one of the questions in the chat talks about elevation and that training. So I will bring that up right now real quick. Todd asked, with all the elevation in your training, how much of it do you run, power walk, power hike / walk? And this was something, oh gosh, I know I talk about the benefits of having a coach over and over again, but this conversation here was a benefit of having a coach because it was a question that I would often ask myself. And I was finding myself in a position where I was just doing the extremes, where I realized that there is a difference in elevation. And there's a difference in the way we attack elevation, just like we attack pace. And I never thought of it until he really broke it down. So that's kind of the insight that I want to give to you right here, Todd. I would say when I am focusing on vert, and for example, let me just bring up this screen and I'll show you exactly right from what my coach is showing me. Window, this one I want to share. We have something that will say like a hilly run. So that's over here, hilly run. In the description, you'll see that he wants me at somewhere between 500 and 1,000 feet per hour. Okay. Now for me, 1,000 feet per hour is pretty runnable terrain. So there's 2 days a week right now where we're focusing race specific stuff that he wants me doing, that 500 to 1,000, where he wants me running rolling hills. This is going to be that area of like 6 to 8% on the treadmill. Like he wants me to vary around there. Now, if I go down to 4 and then I go up to 10, just so I'm not like stuck at one elevation, but a large majority of the hill work that I'm doing, and this is all going to be based on time, I feel like I am doing more running on rolling, and then I'm dedicating pretty much one day. One of my back-to-back long runs is going to be power hiking. So now I'm looking in excess of 12%. I'm looking for, like 12, 13, 15, 20%, where frankly, I can't run. I can't run at all. And in the beginning, I was thinking to myself, hey, should I be just grinding elevation? Should every day be like, yo, get 5,000, 3,000? And the fact of the matter was, no. Those 2,000-foot days were just as beneficial for those rollers. And when I found them to be the best is when I would climb up, even when it would get so steep, like maybe like 10. What I found out about those running days as opposed to like my power hiking days was that cresting the hill and getting right back to speed and pace on flat or downhill was so important. When I'm just sitting there grinding, grind, and I'm just like walking power hiking for a long time, which is what I needed for grindstone, I would feel like when I'd get to the top, still be so gassed that I couldn't continue that momentum. So finding a mix between those runnable vert, like those longer rolly days. So like when I have like this week, I'll have a 22-mile run, right? That 22-mile run, I can't grind 300 feet for 22 miles. I'll be out there for freaking 10 hours, right? So on that longer back-to-back run, I'm going to find something that's a little bit more runnable that I can pretty much sustain. Maybe towards the end of the run, I might have to stop and get the poles going and maybe power hike. But I would say 50-50. Right now, I would say out of that 10,000 feet that I'm doing per week, 5,000 of that is in excess of 10%, maybe even in excess of 12%. And I think about it as feet per mile. So like in excess of 300 feet per mile. And then half of that is going to be very rolling, running stuff that, I can take. Even if it's short and punchy, I can still make it to the top and run or jog the entire time. I hope that helps. If you have a follow-up of that, or if I wasn't clear, please just let me know. All right. I will definitely get to that. We got, what is this? Smashy Crashy. Thanks for this 1,000 subs. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good. Jacob Mooney in the house yesterday, age group champ. Yeah, I took down an age group. We'll get to that race in just a second. And you were a big reason for that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll get to the race in just a second. I'm only on Tuesday of this week. I got to get all the way to the weekend. Smash Crashy asks, glad your training's going well. What is your pacing strategy for canyons? The first 7 to 8 miles downhill is going to be so fast. Are you worried about going out too hot or too much eccentric load? Okay. And you see me grinning because I guess we will talk about this race. I do not have the discipline or know how to not full send. I am the definition of Prefontaine pace, and this is not good. And when I was a little less fit or earlier on in my training, when I couldn't go as fast, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. But also, like, I'm at the point now with the zone 2 heart rate where my heart rate is not matching like how fast I'm going. Like for me, on yesterday's Saturday's run, running 8:30 with some vert. Back in the day, like my heart rate would have been 190. So it's oh my gosh. Yo, Chad is stop it, dude. Stop it. This guy's a New York legend. Chad, I'll get to you in just a second. Let me get to this quick. But anyway, for canyons being my first 100, I think there's like a switch for me where if I'm a little bit terrified, I'll go out a little slower. And also for the 100, I'm going to have a crew there. My coach might show up. There's going to be people there to like keep me in check. And I know it's a long day. I'm going with the Andy Glaze. When Andy Glaze says, if you feel good, slow down. If you feel shitty, eat. That's what I'm going for. So my pacing strategy, I'm not going to lie. I haven't really talked publicly about like what I want to do. I of course have time goals. I am not I just want to finish. That's not my style. If I just wanted to finish, I would just be out there running. I wouldn't pay to coach. I wouldn't be bringing people out to pace me. Like, yes, I have very, very specific goals for this race. And I will talk about those specific time goals when I get there or when we get closer. But the pace is all heart rate for me. Regardless, I don't care what the pace is as long as I'm not burning matches with my heart rate. And I mean, we have Chad in here who's done freaking Cocodona and every other 200 under the sun, and Jacob's doing all the 200s and has a bunch of 100-milers. They probably know better than me, but I really think, in talking with Coach, who has won every 200-mile race under the sun, I think we're really, really just going to focus on heart rate and not banging out those downhills. Yeah, when we run road marathons and stuff, we can really take advantage of those downhills. But I've already learned that downhills will F you up and end your day faster than uphills will. And I'm very, very aware of that. And it's definitely something that I'm going to keep in mind. I don't plan on doing anything crazy. I feel like there's no way on this planet that I'll get to like mile 80 and be like, wow, I probably should have went harder in the beginning. Like, no, but I will go quick. Not to say I'll risk DNFing, but conservative is just not how I want to race. I want to be smart. I want to be disciplined, but I will have a race plan according to how I want to finish. And I'm going to do everything that I can do to stay on that race plan. And that's really what it is. I'm not worried about the heat. I love the heat. Bring it on. The heat's not a big deal for me. I hate the cold. And as somebody that suffered hypothermia in freaking grindstone, like I'll take the Arizona desert all freaking day. Eccentric load. I used to be very, very afraid of eccentric load, but my coach has me training not only running downhill a lot. That's why he doesn't love me on the treadmill. He really wants me to get outside because the downhill is just as important as the uphill. But because I can't do that, he has me doing a ton of daily eccentric load exercises, not because those will get you hurt too. So not, when I say every day, not overdoing, but just simple things, just very, very simple things, man. I hope that answer questions. If you have any follow-ups, please leave them in the comment section. I've Mind Over Matter asks, have you ever had any problems with stress fractures? No. I luckily was so overweight that I had to start slow. And I think because I had to start so slow and build up my mileage over time, I think that really, really helped avoid injury. I've avoided plantar fasciitis. I've, stress fractures, shin splints. Really, besides like rolling ankles in the trail, I've remained injury free over these last 2 years. But I posted on Instagram a video from this YouTube channel. If you go back, I've only been making videos for a year and a half. The one I posted today was from a year and a half ago, where I tried to PR my 5K and break 30 minutes. And I came across that 5K line gassed, full gassed, and just barely broke 30 minutes. Like I feel like I see a lot of guys that are actually really, really fit start running, get hurt more because they don't have the patience or the discipline to go as slow as I had to, because I was 240 pounds. And I was probably hungover because I'm an alcoholic. So, all of those things I think really, really helped me avoid them. Low intensity. I'm a low intensity, low heart rate guy, and there's no one that's going to change my mind. Let's get down here. Once again, Chad, thank you. I appreciate you. I mentioned, I DM'd him this morning and, let him know that you pushed me, man. And knowing that you were out there on Saturday doing the 50-miler, and I probably was going at a slower pace than you. The first time I got to see, I didn't get to meet you that day, but the first time I got to see was in the Red Wing 60K last year, my first 60K ever. And it was 4 loops, I want to say. I think it was 4 loops. And Chad lapped me in the 3rd loop. And if you go back and you look, I have a video on that day. It was like the monsoon race or something like that. Go back and look the first 60K in the video. I'm actually recording myself. Chad just blows by. So that was the first time. And then, realized not only what an awesome runner you are, but we've been DMing back and forth, and I really appreciate the tips you give me, and yeah, and you crush, man. It's good. It's good to be you. Chad is like one of those dudes who gets on the Amtrak and takes a train for 50 miles north into Connecticut and then just runs home. Like those are the life goals that I have set for myself and that I want to be doing. So thank you. I appreciate you. And I think Cogadona is next for you. And man, I know you did it last year, and I know you probably want a little bit more this year. It's gonna be sick. I look forward to watching you crush that race. And I'm sorry, I did say to you on Saturday that I wasn't going anywhere until you finished, but unfortunately I had a wife there and she was like, "Hey, I like Chad more than the next guy, but we got to get the hell out of here because it's raining." Your training pace, hike portion should be similar to your race plan as you get closer to the race. Thanks for the question or comment. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very lucky. I have a coach and he knows the course very, very, very well. And I don't have to think about any of that stuff. I just do what I'm told. That has been over the last, wow, I must have him on. I think we started in the first week of, actually the last week of November we started, right? Thanksgiving, I think, was the first week I started with my coach. And I have not had to think about training, what to do since then. And I have not missed a training day. I've not missed 1 mile since November. And the fruits of that labor are paying off. And I would agree, like, especially now, 6 to 7 weeks out, he's got me on race specific things. We are simulating the course, we're simulating the time on feet, and it's just been awesome. Todd says full send. Yeah, it's bad. It's not a good thing. I probably should have went out on that 20 miler this weekend and just got a good training day in, but I'm not getting any younger, so I might as well send it when we can, man. I watched it today. I was amazed how different you look. So proud of you. Thank you, late bloomer runner. Yeah, it's that's the best part about YouTube. I talk to so many people on Instagram that are like, "Oh, I just don't know if YouTube's for me. I don't know if I should make videos." And it's like, you even this conversation, this is all a journal. That's all of this is. When I also have Javelina 100 on my schedule. You can bet that, I mean, I'm not going to go back and listen to every episode or listen to myself talk per se, but when I'm 6 weeks out from Javelina, if I'm feeling weird, I'm going to come back and I'm going to listen to this episode and see where my mind was at 6 months out from Canyons. Or I'm going to go back and look at my biggest vert week. I'm going to listen to that, to help me stay in the mindset, because right now I'm living in the moment and I feel like I can live in this moment forever, but things will change. My fitness will change, or maybe I'll get hurt and have a setback. God, this is just a journal. That's all it is. And the benefits I see of it are incredible. And the YouTube channel, like those early stupid videos that I made, I knew no one was ever going to see them, but I knew in my heart that, and that video too, that was before I decided sobriety was a thing. I think I talk about at the end doing the beer mile, and I have 2 beer mile videos on this channel, and I go back now in hindsight and I think about being sober now for well over a year. And I'm like, I look at that and I'm like, that's the dude you were. And you were looking in the mirror thinking you were good, like fit, or like you thought you were doing the right thing, or you thought that was normal. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that growth. So yeah, seeing that video today, and I mean, I see myself every day in the mirror. I know I've lost weight, obviously, but like when I go back and I look at that, I can't help but to think like, damn, like it's a good thing I got my ish together. It's a good thing that, I have family members that sat me down and was like, Brad, this is not good. And without those videos, I'd be able to say, oh man, yeah, I know I was 240 pounds. Or I'd be able to be like, I remember the day that, I could barely run a 30-minute 5K, now I run 20-minute 5Ks. And it's nice to be able to go back and have them for myself, but also too, like I'm coaching people right now that are training for their first 10K. and they look at my 80-mile week and they're like, oh, Brad, but I'm like, listen, dude, I understand where you're coming from. Here's a video that shows you, or shows me when I was at your stage less than a year and a half ago, so I appreciate that. Thank you. I really have. I've been working really, really hard, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I've never seen, even through my Ironman days, like I was joking with a friend, like with all due respect to that sport, I would smack an Ironman right now with no training. I would smack that, Yeah, Brian, I was 240. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, if you go on this channel and you go to my first video, this channel started because I was going to be a run streaker and I wanted to document it. And I wanted to use the channel as an accountability. My first main channel, my specialty is personal finance. And my first main channel, I started in 2017. That has like 125,000 subscribers on it. That channel started as I need to get out of debt. I had $189,000 worth of debt and a net worth of like minus something stupid. And I was like, I'm going to get myself out of debt and I'm going to start investing. And I knew I wouldn't do it unless I made a YouTube channel and held myself accountable. Because when you say things out loud, they happen. Jesse Itzler talks about this all the time, like put it out there. And I was going to run streak forever. And I started the channel and like the first 10 videos are just me run streaking. That's it. And my run streak ended at 283 days last March 29th when I broke my ankle. And I broke my ankle a month before, or it was like more like 7 weeks before my first 50K. And I limped and waddled, fully taped up that 50K. And it's fun, like back to going back. I go back and look at the video of the day I broke my ankle, and I'm like, I was emotionally destroyed. I had to film it like 4 times because I was crying I was emotionally destroyed. I'd gone 283 days. I think at that point I'd lost like 30 pounds. I was about to run a 50K, my first ultra marathon. I broke my ankle at 100 feet from the car. And yeah, so if you go back, you'll see I was a lot rounder. And hopefully I'll never go back to that. Never go back to that. Appreciate it. Let's go back to the week. That was dope though. Keep the questions coming. I love it. So here's back to the training schedule here. So you'll see some more stuff of exactly what's going on. So we had this hilly run here, 1,300 feet over 10 miles. So 130 feet per mile. And a little more than probably around that 600 feet per hour, right? Right in between that 500 and 1,000 that coach wanted. Saturday, on Wednesday, 5:30 in the morning, we're on the tread. Nice, easy run, but with some striders. My coach loves striders. And at first I wasn't exactly sure what they would be doing for me, but I really, really just love striders. So we got 10 miles in. This was the week of 10 miles a day, 1,000 feet keeps the doctor away and the DNFs away. We had an easy run. This was outside during my lunch break. I got another 1,000 feet that day. So it's pretty much 10 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all with 1,000 feet. Friday got 2,000 feet, and he wanted this to be hilly. So once again, I was looking for that 500 to 1,000 feet per hour. This is very runnable for me. 1048, pretty runnable, but see that heart rate, 124. I don't know if Jacob's here. He said in the video, I'm going to release the video of Saturday's race tonight. After this, I'll get it out. It's edited. It's only like 6-7 minutes long. I just have to make a thumbnail. It'll be out tonight, so you could check it out tonight and tomorrow. But Jacob said something like, this dude's heart rate drives me crazy, because we were going 830 full gas uphill. And he's like, what's your heart rate? And I'm like, it's 131. I really focused on that zone 2, and I was so disciplined. So yeah, so to be able to run 1048 with 2,000 feet and keep the heart rate at 124, super happy about that. You'll see my heart rate from the race. That was on Friday. And then Saturday morning, I wasn't going to do this race. It was my wife's race, and she's very nice. She let me go. She's like you have to do 25 miles, just come out and race. I was going to bring the kids. It was cold. It was rainy. We're like, all right, whatever. 2:59:53, 20 miles, 2,248 feet of climbing, average 8:48 pace and 1:45 heart rate. An awesome, awesome, awesome race. Um, it was pretty much, you could see here, it was 4 loops, but they were different loops. So this was the first loop here. We came back to the start. Then we went out for this nice long loop. And then this was a fun little climb here. Let me use this. This was a fun little punchy climb. And this was a nice little section. Chad did this probably like 3 times and then came around, came back. Then we went out for another loop. So it was nice that we got to come back to the start finish a bunch. But if we get, let's hide this. We don't need my cadence. We can see the heart rate right in the 140s. So here's an instance where, like, are we talking pace or heart rate? Because I would never think that 8:30 pace or 9-minute pace is that low of a heart rate for me. But even at the latter stage of the race, down into the 135s. Now, granted, I was going downhill right there, but this was like full gas. I'm pushing it 150. This was the last little bit of the race. But the whole day, this is really what I wanted. I wanted my heart rate to stay nice and easy. And that's why I was able to really go, because 150 is like the high end of where I feel comfortable in zone 2. That's like the gray area of zone 3. And that's kind of like race pace stuff for me. So as long as I'm under 150, here's a peak at 154. This was a peak at 158. And that's probably when we were really going for it. I was trying to catch Jacob on his tails. But yeah, that was a really, really nice day. And then I didn't get the 5 miles, but coach was like, you hammered it, bud. Like, you are not allowed to go out and run those 4 miles when you get home, because he know I would have. So we got back out on Sunday morning, got 14 more miles, another 1,700 feet, 117 heart rate for 12:12, super recovery. I put on Strava that was recovery. A guy said, hey, like 12 miles and 14 miles in 3 hours is a recovery for you. It really is when it's all heart rate based for me. My stimulus really is based on heart rate. It has really nothing to do with time. Time just tells me how much I need to eat, really. And the mileage is just there. Like 114 the whole time. What was my spikes here? 130 was a big one. Oh, I really went for it on this hill. 149. That was probably because there was somebody coming up behind me. But the rest of that was just all in the low 100s. Very, very recovery for me. And then because coach told me I need to get 80 miles, when we got back home, I got back on the treadmill and I did another 34 minutes, got another 3.42. That got my week to 80 miles. Time on feet, 15:54. My CTL, my fitness is at an all-time high of 79. And my form score, -28. I really, really needed a rest day today. If you're into all the stats and things like that, you can kind of see my fitness and everything. Where's a good, this chart right here is a really, really nice chart that will show kind of all my fitness. And if you know Training Peaks, you know all of these, but you could see all these blue dots are efforts. Those are intensities, and they're all between 60 and 70%. You could see very rarely do I go above 80. I must have sent it this day. What was this? Those were the stairs in Mexico, and I was doing stair climbs all day. This was probably the New York City Marathon, 9:23. No, that was Grindstone. That was Grindstone. This is the New York City Marathon over here. But yeah, you could see since this is December, since I brought coach on, this blue line, that's CTL. When I brought coach on, this was the Backyard Ultra. So the day of the Backyard Ultra, I had a fitness score of 44. And today it's rocking 76. So definitely getting a lot fitter and definitely very, very happy. If we look at the Ultra Trail sign up results, we can see first, I know, Chad, if you're still here, there he is. Look at this guy. What pace is that? That's got to be like 9:30 pace, 50 miles, probably 6,000 feet. 4:24. Dude posted the second fastest time ever done on the course in 4 years. Like humble, awesome guy. Would never brag for himself. So I'll brag for you, man. Kick ass. Speaking of humble people, here's Jacob Mooney down here. He sandbagged he knew he was going to run a marathon the next day. So he sandbagged the last lap and let me get in. But 5th overall out of 92 finishers. We'll take it. A couple people did not finish. Some people count those as like, yeah, we took those. Did not start. They didn't show up, but sometimes you have to DNF, so I don't count those. So 92 people. I'll take that. 5th out of 92. These guys off the front, we never saw them. We never saw them. And we went off with the 11-mile people. There was an 11-miler as well. So we weren't sure like if these guys going off the front were 11-milers, but dude, they were fast. This guy put up the 3rd fastest time ever on this course, 2:48. We did not see any of these. When I came in with this group here. Jacob was awesome. Sorry for if I mispronounce your name. Natalie, I want to say. George Rudolph, Eugene. We ran with these guys pretty much the whole day. This was our pack. And any one of us would have been like, we could be the front pack or we can be in 20th. We really did not know. So when I came in, I knew we were close to the top, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised to see that I was able to come in 5th. This guy's 50 years old. What a savage. That is awesome. Dean, what an awesome, awesome effort. We say ultramarathon is definitely for the older guns, man. Like you're a young guy. We got old man strength. I was able in the 40 to 49s. I was able to take that down. That's men and female right there. If we look at the males, 40 to 49. Yeah, I took that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people. So 1st out of 12 for the old guys. So a really, really awesome race. Just a really, really good day overall. It was awesome to get out there and just hammer a little bit. It was very, very nice. So that was the week. Now look at this glorious thing. Sorry about my dog barking. That must have been my wife's home. Let's go back to Training Peaks here for a second. I wanted to show you because this is awesome too. Like, look at this week that I have coming up. This is not a typo, friends. 55 miles. 55 miles. And I get to ride my bike. I get to ride my mountain bike this week. It doesn't get much better than that. 55, then we're going up to 75, and then it's time for the Grand Canyon, rim to rim to rim. He's like, do you want me to post rim to rim to rim week? I was like, no, I'll be surprised. He's going to post it that week. I have a feeling we're going to try and get up to 100 this week. I don't know. We'll see how the 75 goes. 80 was doable. I feel like a superhero today, especially with the rest day. And after this pullback, I'm going to be all systems go. Then the 75, we'll see if that feels good. That's going to have a 22 miler, and we'll talk about that next week. And then, yeah, we're so close to the Grand Canyon rim to rim of the Grand Canyon. And here's canyons 6 weeks out. So this is going to be the last real big training day. We'll probably have one more big block that week, first week in April. And then we'll probably start to taper out and taper into this. But man, I've talked about rest weeks before. I think rest weeks are the best when you are looking forward to them, but you don't need them. Like, I love my rest days. Mondays are my favorite day of the week, but I don't need them. If I needed to run today, I could. Pullback weeks are going to be exactly the same. I feel like I love it. I'm going to embrace it. It's going to be awesome, but I don't need it. Like, if you are begging and scraping and clawing for a rest week, you're probably overtraining. All right. Keep that in mind. So although I am over the moon excited about my 55, if coach threw another 80 at me, I'd be ready. I'd be fatigued, but I'd be ready. So that's like a good little place to think about. And it's something I talk about with my athletes all the time. Like, where are you at? You know, are you excited about the rest week? Are you bummed? Like, do you want to keep going up? Like, these are things that you have to keep talking to yourself. Luckily for me, I have a coach and he just tells me what to do and I do it. Simple as that. He says, Brad, go run 55 miles and ride your mountain bike this week. Done, coach. He said, Brad, run 80 miles with 10,000 feet. I didn't get 10. Full disclosure, I got 9,100. Just with that race, not having a ton of it at 2,400 feet. They were just going to be junk miles if I tried to work them in on Sunday. It just didn't work that well. So yeah, I'm feeling good, guys. Confidence is building. I think going out and running that trail race, I have a really, really hard time giving myself credit. And I am a humble guy, but I've also sucked at athletics for so long that I was saying to my wife on the way home, it just felt good to race, not even knowing where I came. It was nice being in a group of 5 guys and us pushing each other, you know? Like, we equally worked as hard, and we equally, like, quote, like, won. Like, they might as well have been the same place as me. Like, we all busted it. We worked our asses off. I know that one guy that I came in ahead of, he stopped in the last loop and had some nutrition at the aid station. Did he need it? Did he not care? Like, who knows? You know, I was self-supported that day. I knew I wanted that, so I didn't stop. So maybe he didn't want to stop and he had to, and I was able to take him because of that. I don't know. But it was just more fun to go out there and breathe heavy and push. All of us led at some point. All of us took the front. All of us fell back, but we really used each other to drive each other through lows, to push each other to new highs. And that's what racing, that was the great part. Like the 5th place, the winning the age group, that means it was just a stimulus that you can't get on a training run, which is why I wanted to do it. I wanted to push myself. I haven't pushed myself in so long. You know, I did the marathon with JJ in February, but like I haven't pushed in a painful way since the New York City Marathon in November. And I've ran 800 miles since then. So it was really, really nice to figure it out and know that things are good, and to know that we're going to beat the shit out of the Grand Canyon. I know those are famous last words, but I'm going to make the Grand Canyon my little bitch. I can't wait. I got a question about nutrition, and this is an awesome one. And I'll be brief here because I actually been writing out a video that I'm going to put on this channel about nutrition. I know I keep talking about videos, but I ran in the Topos Ultra Ventures this week for the first time. I think I found my magic shoes. But I'm going to be making a video about that. But nutrition, a lot of my athletes have been asking, but here's my simple nutrition plan. Very, very simple. And if you want a more in-depth look at my nutrition, the vlog video that I posted last week, I went through all of my nutrition for that 25 mile training day. And it's going to be very, very similar to what I'm about to tell you. Long runs are for nutrition and gear. They're not for miles. Maybe a little bit psychology. I think when we stack up the importance of long runs, and I learned this the hard way because I've done training volume where I got to certain miles, but would skip like long runs, would like break them up through the week and add a mile here and just skip long runs, but still get to my volume. Long runs here's like the hierarchy of long runs in my mind: your nutrition, your gear, and your mental state. Like the actual miles and time, they're so far down that hierarchy, in my opinion. So when you plan a long run, the first thing you should be thinking is my nutrition perfect? And if it's not, what am I changing? Because you want to change one thing a run. What I mean is, like, you don't want to try a new nutrition, a new gel, a new pair of shoes, a new set of poles, a new vest. You don't want to try all those things in one day, right? You want to eliminate different variables and just change one so you know if it effed you up. So you need to be saying, like, is my nutrition on point? And if it is, then I move on to the next thing, like gear. But if it's not, what am I changing today to see if I can get it closer to on point? Here are the things that I needed to work through for my nutrition: how much to eat, calories, and more importantly, carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are what send you to the porta potty. I needed to figure out when and what I could eat as far as consistency and flavor. And then last, what am I going to eat when shit goes bad? When I get palate fatigued, when I don't want to eat, when I can't? What is that one thing that I could eat on a 120-degree day when the last thing I want to do is eat and I'm nauseous and I'm throwing up? Like, that was the last thing. And I've pretty much got it there. I've got it there. And here is the nutrition plan that I will be using in the Grand Canyon in 2 weeks. And here's the nutrition plan that I will be using in canyons. I have it dialed in. I'm in the mental state of my long runs. My gear's dialed in and my nutrition's dialed in. I eat 320 calories per hour. That is the max that I could eat without feeling crappy. I've tested 350. I feel like crap. I've tested 300. it's not enough. I've dialed it to 320. Then once I got the amount, I went to carbohydrates. 50 to 60 carbs, very high end. It depends on my intensity. The lower the intensity, the lower my carbohydrates. So Saturday, high intensity, ton of carbs, ton of carbs. Grand Canyon, probably on the lower side of carbs, at least, in the later stages, because it's an intensity thing. So right now I'm taking 60 an hour. Okay. The next thing I had to think about was, when do I want to eat them? I tried every 30 minutes, tried every 40 minutes, and I tried all of it on the hour. What works best for me is alternating 2 different foods that I eat every 30 minutes on the dot. I have it on my watch. I thought that was going to be stupid, but when you're out there and time starts to stand still and you don't know where you are, did I eat? Did I not eat? I literally have an alert on my watch. It goes beep, 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 goo or gel. Beep, 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 waffle. Beep, 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 gel. Beep, 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 waffle. I eat the honey stinger waffles, all flavors. I throw a bunch in my pack and I just reach in and it's like a grab bag. Ooh, what flavor am I going to get? Am I going to get salted caramel? Am I hopefully going to get cookies and cream? Let's go cookies and cream. Come on, cookies and cream. Am I going to get the vanilla? Am I going to get that cinnamon? Oh my God, that cinnamon. Or am I going to get honey? They're all dope. They've never effed with my stomach. They suck a little bit when they're cold, but love them. And those ones have 140 calories and they have 20 grams of carbs. The other thing I take is Spring Energy Awesome Sauce. I said in the video, if you don't like that stuff, I don't trust you as a human being. Some of it, the consistency isn't right for people, but 180 calories and 45 grams of carbs and the most delicious taste I could ever imagine, whether it's hot, cold. It's either like a la mode apple pie when it's cold, or it's like warm apple pie when it's not. I love it. So alternate between those two. And then my electrolytes, I usually take in pill form. That's it. 320 calories an hour, 60 grams of carbs. I eat every 30 minutes. And then my salt depends, but generally about 1,000 milligrams per liter. When it gets a little hotter, I'll go up to about 1,200 milligrams per liter. But yeah, you got to get that in. You got, like, my wife is in that stage right now. She doesn't know if she likes 30 minutes, 40 minutes. She has her calorie count there, but she doesn't know her time. And that's something she's working on every single week. Smashy Crasher, can you feel that race effort on your legs today? No. I do not feel that effort today. I definitely woke up a little bit sore, a little bit tight maybe. That's why I did that run. But the second run of the day, that 5K that I ran later in the day, I ran that at a pretty good pace. And then, like I said, today was just one of those days. I enjoyed it, but I could have went out and ran at a pretty good intensity. Tomorrow I'll be 100% ready to go back to training. So no. And like I said, with the heart rate, it was a high pace and we really, really pushed it, but it wasn't like threshold. It wasn't that crazy. And yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling good. And I attribute that all to how much I ate that day, because there was people that did not eat and they fell off. And I think eating is just, I never knew how important it was. And I never knew, I guess I'll talk about like, what's the thing that I eat if everything goes bad. Peanut butter and jellies I can eat anytime. So there's always an emergency Uncrustable. Doesn't matter. I could have the flu and you hand me an Uncrustable and I'll put it down. So that's my safe food. To be honest, pizza's there too. In the Backyard Ultra, when everyone was like, oh, nobody felt good, I was crushing pizza. But the awesome sauce, there'll be days where like I just don't want the consistency of applesauce. The flavor will be there. I just don't want, like, if there's some days, very rarely. But those waffles, I can't see if we get to a point in a race where I can't eat a honey stinger cinnamon waffle, shit's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you grew up in the 90s, do they still have Cinnamon Toast Crunch? It's that good. So yeah, thank you so much. Beep, beep, beep. I used to see like alerts on your watch and think that was dumb. And then the first time you get lost in your mind and you don't know when you ate or what you ate, or was it 30 minutes ago? Has it been? Did I eat a little early? It's just so much easier just to take that off And I think also what the reminder did, there's been times in the past where like I wasn't feeling well and I knew it was 30 minutes and I should eat and I just skipped it. But for whatever reason, when I hear that beep, 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 it's like coach telling me eat, eat, eat. And I'll let myself down, but I'm not letting coach down. So like, yeah, like beep, beep, beep is freaking eat, eat, eat. You feel crappy. It's probably because you haven't eaten. So eat and then throw up and then we'll talk. But that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, the waffles are. And here's the best thing about those waffles too. There's actually two great things about the waffles. I just got on these like a month and a half ago. Number one, they're readily accessible. You can get them at Target. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them online. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Stop Shop. They're easily accessible and they're not expensive. All things considered, like my awesome sauces, I want to say are like maybe over $5 a gel. So when I'm going out on a 5-hour run, I'm spending $25 on gels. But those, I think I buy them in the variety pack. And if you say spring energy waffles or spring waffles at your phone enough on Instagram, it'll come up with a 20% coupon. And I just nag them every single time. Every time I see them, I nag them. I just grab them. 20% off. Yeah, just say it into your phone. Spring waffles, spring waffles, spring waffles. They're the perfect amount of like, you want to eat something that feels like food, but like you don't want to eat too much of it. And you got to be able to eat it quick because you want to probably eat it while you're jogging or on the run. And like, we're not always going to be at an aid station with pierogies and knishes and bacon and quesadillas, but we want food, something to chew on. And even like my peanut butter and jellies were getting too like, my Uncrustables were getting too mush. Like it didn't feel like I was eating food. I can't just do gels, especially in an ultra. I can't do gels for 7 hours, 10 hours. So it's like, it's got that enough where I'm like chewing on it and I'm like, this is freaking food. And every flavor is just better than the next. That's why I just throw them in my pack. I throw one of every flavor in there. And I literally just like close my eyes and like reach my hand in and just pull it out. And it's like, I got the cookies and cream this time. And then like sometimes I think that like they have like salted caramel. And I'm like, that flavor is going to be disgusting. And then you take a salted caramel and it's like, I don't even like caramel. It's so good. Not sponsored, guys. Not sponsored by Spring, but or by Honey Waffle, Stinger Honey Waffles. But hey, call me, man. I'll do it. They really are. Chad, if I see you eating a honey waffle in Cocodona, I'm taking full credit for those things. I also use non-hydration where and when I can. Yeah, certain electrolytes. This might sound gross. Just bind me up, make me super constipated, and none did that to me. Which is another reason why like I got off of it so I stopped putting electrolytes in my powder in my drinks. Like I love Switchback. I love Jeremy and Brock, great guys. I have that. But that's more for like during the day. Like I don't really drink water plain anymore. There's always something in my water, even like really low amounts, just even for flavor. But in my bottles, like I had BPM salted watermelon and I can drink that salted watermelon all day. Love it. But whatever reason in the race, like I just get pal fatigued really quick. So, and also like bind me up, make my stomach feel not good. So I just went to pills. And now I just do Relight sodium pills during races. And it's just a part of my eat. I usually will electrical tape. Like I bought like these little baggies. Drug dealers probably used them back in the day. That's probably what they were made for. But I'll shove like 2 or 3 little pills in that, and I'll just electrical tape it right to my my spring. I have a reel on that, and then I just rip the spring open, and then I just have both right there. So that's what I do, and then I just have regular water in there. Yeah, Cliff Bars I couldn't do. Those were just too heavy, and I found that I can't do stuff that like will stick in my teeth. Like you'll get like a little like chia seed up here, or like the macadamia nut Cliff Bars are so good, but like I feel like I always got like a little piece of the nut. Like I was just gonna say nut stuck in the back of my throat. Well, I guess I just said it anyway. But yeah, no. And these are things you learn in training. Like I love those macadamia. I can eat them all day, just chilling. But for whatever reason, in a race, I can't do it. Noah's Ark of waffles, 2 of every waffle. Yeah, so good. The waffles are good. And I've seen what's the other company that just has like maple syrup, like literally their gel pack is maple syrup. I've seen that company too, but like I said, they're readily accessible. Like I know that like, oh man, TSA took my waffles because they're that good. I know I can just find a Target and get some. All right, friends, kick some ass, take some names. I know there's a lot of badasses in here, but definitely go look Chad up, look Jacob up, see what these guys are doing. If they're inspiring the shit out of me, they'll inspire the shit out of you. Keep an eye out on the channel for the race that I did on Saturday. It's going to be a quick one, 6 minutes long. And yeah. Oh, we got another question? Sick. I can do that. Do you have any specific pocket or Ziploc bags for trash? Empty? I stick them right in my pack, in my vest. Really, if it's not a run where I need a vest, I'm probably not bringing that much nutrition, especially with training now. Let me rephrase that. Like getting so close to the race, I run with everything that I plan on running in canyons. So like the other day, I was overpacked for a 20-mile race. I talk about it in the video. Jacob was talking trash to me. He's like, "Are you really going to wear a vest today?" But every run right now that's outside, my vest, my poles, pretty much everything I'm going to wear. So yeah, I just take my gel, I shove it in my pocket. I know some people are like, "Ooh, it leaked in there a little bit." I don't care. I don't care. Just shove it in there. When I get home, I usually spray down my vest anyway because I'm such a sweaty, salty sweater. So yeah, that's just goes right in my vest. Right in my vest. If I didn't have a vest, I would probably, I don't know, maybe I would just open it at an aid station. I would just try and eat around. I don't know what I would do. I never thought about that. It's a good question. But yeah, check out that video. Next week, man, you guys are gonna see me next week. I'm after a recovery week, feeling good. If you're in the Northeast, you've been waiting for a week like this all winter, 60 degrees all week. Let's go. Daylight savings, get some afternoon. We get to put the headlamp on an hour later. St. Patrick's Day. Not really a big birthday guy, but my birthday's coming up. I'll be the big old 42. Jacob House 42, man. Be 42. And Grand Canyon. Let's go. Grand Canyon. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for showing up, for leaving all your questions. It made it really, really enjoyable for me. I'm going to go try and catch the last period of the Ranger game and then get to bed. Sleep is number one. Don't forget that. Take it easy, guys.